Thank you, Ed. For those of you who don't know how the youngest graduate inculcation goes in this district, I found out about 1.5 hours ago. When Ed told me that I was the youngest graduate, I was surprised he didn't ask me to call minutes when Benny Haven's hour ended. Well, first of all, welcome. Distinguished guests, welcome. Thank you for attending. Spouses who are forced to be here, thank you for coming and letting us indulge in our obsession and love of West Point. And welcome to our dates who have probably no idea what's going on tonight. I graduated just short of a decade ago, and the fact that I'm 32 and the youngest grad tells me one thing. It's that there's a party somewhere else that I'm too old to be invited to. But I will indulge everyone in my role as the youngest grad tonight, and that requires me to ignore the march of time as I grow older year by year, and that tonight I am everyone's cold beverage corporal. I am the plebe here to tell you that there are 265 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy. That our lungs still burn with asbestos upon completion of the IOCT. And that plebes' heads ring after every boxing class. And cadets these days still break the rules, and I should know I marched 100 hours. It was well worth it. It was a good 100 hours. I would do it again. But I'll tell you, I'm not an insider to the Corps of Cadets anymore, unfortunately. I can't tell you what is happening in the Corps. I don't think any of us can, except for the few cadets who are here. I do know that the moment we left, we all perhaps some days wish we were back in the Corps, if not for a moment. It was a time we look back finally in our lives, where we form bonds with those individuals here tonight. We look back to the relationships formed, like Eric just spoke about, probably the most important thing we all took from West Point, besides the norms that we built on honor and duty and country. I can tell you I follow West Point closely, and West Point continues to do great things. Just this past year, 3 West Point graduates, women, graduated from the U.S. Army Ranger School for the first time. Just yesterday, the women's basketball team played in the first round of the NCAA basketball tournament. And I can tell you that young graduates, whether in the Korengal Valley or Sadr City, continue to fight with honor and character and fierceness. I can guarantee you that my friends who still serve and the youngest graduates still successfully execute the final 100 yards of our foreign policy. Unfortunately, for many of us here, and my class in particular, we've had to say those few last words in our alma mater too frequently. May it be said, well done, be thou at peace. And I just want to share one story with you before I end. It's about my roommate and my best friend from West Point, Jason Benjamin Jones. We had to pick our major at the beginning of our yuck year, and I lay in my bed and Jason lays across from me in his. And he said, Chris, I'm gonna pick the leadership major. It was kind of known as an easy major, something you didn't want to work too hard at, and you'd get an A and you'd coast through the rest of school. And I said, Jason, if that's what you want to do, so be it. Well, the next day I asked Jason if he had picked his major, and he said I had, so I asked him what he picked. I picked nuclear engineering, Chris. I didn't want to sell myself short. I didn't come here to make things easy. Jason continued to major in nuclear engineering, and he graduated 5th in our class. Jason branched infantry, went to Fort Bragg, joined the 82nd, and after a tour in Iraq, he was selected for Special Forces, and after 2.5 years, he took command of a Special Forces team. Jason was doing what he loved. He was leading a Special Forces team in Afghanistan. Jason was killed in action on June 2nd, 2014, while leading his team with Afghan Special Forces. It's men like Jason who make me proud to be a member of the Long Gray Line, and make me glad and happy to stand up here and remember his name and say his name, because I know we all have friends like that who have been denied the joy to go on a date with my girlfriend tonight, and to see our children grow and see our nieces and nephews grow. So I want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to make the Long Gray Line proud, and I'm humbled and honored to be your youngest graduate here tonight. We have much to celebrate, and I look forward to meeting you for the rest of the evening. Good night.